Hello students, last class we have seen about some of the 2 mark and 3 mark questions. Now let us continue with the 3 mark and we will be seeing the 5 marks also today. So the fourth question is how yogurt is produced. It is in the page number 143. So microorganisms such as Streptococcus, Thermophilus and Lactobacillus bulgaricus produce yogurt by fermentation. So what they do is they first coagulate the milk protein and then they convert the lactose in milk to lactic acid. So it is a lactic acid is a byproduct which is coming from the fermentation process. And the second point what you have to write is the flavor in the yogurt is due to the acetaldehyde. So if you write these 2 points you will get full marks. The next one is write a short note on Patneer. So what is Patneer? It is in the page number 141 of your book. So it is a traditional drink obtained from fermenting sap of palms and coconut trees, and it is a refreshing drink and which is on boiling produces jaggery and palm sugar. So when Patneer is left undisturbed for few hours, it gets fermented to form toddy, and after 24 hours the toddy becomes unpalatable, that means we cannot drink that one, and it is used for the production of vinegar. The next one is sixth one, write down the use of the following enzymes extracted from microbes for commercial productions. So it is in page number 142. So the question is they have given some enzymes here, so you have to write the uses of these enzymes. So let us see the question A, lipases, and question B, pectinases, cellulase and protease, and question C, rennet. So we will see the answer. So enzymes, lipases, it is used for the detergent formulations to remove the oily stains from the laundry, and pectinase, cellulase and protease, these are used for the clarification of bottle juice, that means to make them thinner, not the thick part of pulp and all will be digested, that is called as clarification. And the rennet, it is used for the separation of milk into solid curds for cheese making. So this is the answer you have to write. So everything is there in your textbook, only thing is you have to order them. The next question, seventh question, name the fungus commonly called as baker's yeast and what are the uses of this yeast, page number 141. So baker's yeast is also called as Saccharomyces cerevisiae. So the uses are, it is responsible for the leavening of dough for bread making. So leavening means it will raise the dough by the imbibition of the carbon dioxide inside it, and it is the major producer of industrial ethanol, that is C2H5OH, and it is commonly called as brewer's yeast, and as it is used in the production of beverages like wine, beer, whiskey, brandy and rum, and it is also used for commercial production of enzymes. So we have many uses of the baker's yeast. So the name it is called baker's yeast because mostly this yeast is used in the bread making industry, that is why it is called as baker's yeast, but it is also used in other industries like wine industry, and it is also called as brewer's yeast also. Brewer's yeast, it has 2 names, baker's yeast and as well as brewer's yeast. So if they ask this one, you have to write these points. The next question, write a note on biogas or gobar gas. So it is in page number 143. So the excreta of cattle dung is called as gobar, and the gobar gas is generated by the anaerobic decomposition of cattle dung. So the cattle dung is kept for a longer time, it automatically undergoes anaerobic decomposition. So that we are using in the production of methane gas, and it is having some hydrogen, nitrogen and other gases. So gobar gas is nothing but mainly a composition of methane, carbon dioxide, hydrogen, nitrogen and other traces of gases. So this is the main composition of gobar gas. Then ninth one, define bioremediation and write its types. So it is in page number 144, the use of naturally occurring or genetically engineered microorganisms to reduce or degrade pollutants is called as bioremediation. So, bioremediation means to change the spoiled environment into a normal environment. So, that is called as bioremediation. So, it is a naturally occurring or genetically engineered microorganism. So, sometimes some microorganisms naturally they degrade the molecules present in the environment. So, those microbes are taken and they are engineered and they are being used for the cleaning of the environment. So, it is of two types: in situ bioremediation, that is treatment of contaminated soil or waste water in the site. So, wherever there is a pollution, there will be using the microbes and we are treating that area. So, that is called as in situ bioremediation. And ex situ bioremediation means it is the treatment of contaminated soil or water that is removed from the site and treated. So, it is not done in the same place, but it is carried to some other place and then it is cleaned there. So, that is called as ex situ bioremediation. So, if they ask what is bioremediation and write its type, you have to write these points. The next question is, what is sensitivity test of penicillin and why is it mandatory? So, it is in page number 140 in the box type, and here we have to do this test because to avoid any reaction for the person who is going to take that penicillin injection. So, for that this test is done by the doctors where they use a needle to prick the forearm of the patient to give a weak dose of penicillin. So, if there is any itchy red region in the forearm is an indication of the patient and he is allergic to penicillin. So, when there is a red rash, then that patient will not be given penicillin. If there is no red rash, then he can be administered with the penicillin injection. So, this is the important test for the administration of penicillin to check the patient is having a hypersensitivity reaction, which is a major problem when we are injecting penicillin for any bacterial infection. So, before the person gets infected, allergic to that penicillin, so we will go for a test. So, this is called as sensitivity test or hypersensitivity reaction test. So, it is very mandatory before we go for checking the penicillin or administering the penicillin for the patient. The 11th question, which is referred to as industrial alcohol, name the organism used majorly and mention its uses. So, it is in page number 141. So, ethanol is referred to as industrial alcohol produced by Saccharomyces cerevisiae, the yeast commonly known as, and the uses are it is used for industrial, laboratory and fuel purposes. So, this is the industrial alcohol. The next question, 12th one, what are the steps involved in bioremediation? So, it is in page number 144. So, it is in a diagrammatic format. So, you can even diagrammatic questions can also be framed as questions. So, the headings in the diagram can be the steps for the bioremediation. So, the first step involved is the microorganisms eat the oil or other organic contaminants, and the microorganisms digest oil and convert it to its carbon dioxide and water. So, microorganisms give off carbon dioxide and water. So, this the byproducts of this contamination where we can digest the things by the microbes, and the products or byproducts are carbon dioxide and water. So, these are the three steps we have to write for this answer. Then question number 13, what are the steps involved in bioremediation of PET plastics or PET plastics? The ordinary water bottles what we use and throw, those are called as PET bottles or PET plastics. Now, we know that plastic has become a big problem in this world. So, scientists are checking for this through bioremediation. So, the steps involved in bioremediation, this is also a diagrammatic question in your textbook. So, the steps here involved are the Iodinella saccharensis adhere the PET film of the PET bottle, and these bacteria use PETase and METase enzymes to break down PET into terphthalate acid and ethylene glycol, and eats the terphthalate acid and ethylene glycol. So, that is the steps what is involved in the bioremediation of PET plastics. The next question, question number 14, write the steps involved in ethanol production, or it can be also asked as which is referred to as industrial alcohol. Briefly describe its preparation. So, it is in page number 141. So, the process of ethanol production starts by, first thing is milling a feedstock, that is to cut the feedstock from which we are going to prepare the ethanol. Then second one is then break down the starch into fermentable sugars by fungal amylase enzyme from Aspergillus. So, Aspergillus is a fungus from where we will take an enzyme called as amylase. Amylase is an enzyme which breaks down the carbohydrates into smaller molecules of glucose. So, that yeast is then added to convert the sugars to ethanol, and then the feedstock is then distilled off to obtain the ethanol. So, these are the steps we have to write for the preparation of industrial alcohol. So, first thing is milling a feedstock, then second one is break down the starch into fermentable sugars by fungal amylase from Aspergillus, then yeast is then added to convert the sugars to ethanol, and feedstock is then distilled off to obtain the ethanol. So, this is the process of the steps involved in the ethanol production or industrial alcohol. So, both are same, ethanol and industrial alcohol is the same name for the same product. The next question, they may ask even to draw the biogas unit and label it. So, you have the diagram in your textbook. So, you can draw it. So, they can ask for 3 marks question also. So, in a biogas plant you will be having a chamber where you will be having the feedstock, and we have a mixing tank and inlet pipe, you will be having inlet tank and digester tank, and partition wall will be there between the outlet and inlet pipe chambers, and then we have gas producing controlling valve through which the biogas is extracted from the dome, that is the storage tank. So, this is the dome type biogas plant where the gas is collected in the top part of the dome. So, that is the biogas unit. So, you have to draw this diagram and label the parts. The next question, page 16, a patient has undergone myocardial infarction recently. So, it is in question page number 142. So, myocardial infarction means he had some heart attack. So, the question here is name the substance that can be used to remove the clot from his blood vessels and mention the microbes from which it is produced. So, we have 2 questions here. So, first one is we have to find out how the substance can remove the clots. The enzyme streptokinase, it is also called as clot buster. So, it removes the blood clot, and that is the answer for the first question. And microbes which are producing this streptokinase enzyme is, they are called as genetically engineered streptococci bacteria. So, these are the answers what you have to write for the question number 16. The next question, question number 17, national policy on biofuel was approved by the government of India in December 2009 and identified suitable oil seeds for the production of biodiesel. So, it is in page number 142. So, the question is name the suitable oil seeds for the biodiesel productions, and question number B, write their beneficial effects on the environment. So, it is in the box type in your textbook. So, it is Jatropha crocus and Pongamia species. These are the 2 species which are used for the production of biodiesel, and the beneficial effects is it is non-toxic, biodegradable and produce low level of air pollutants. So, that is the reason So, our government is trying to tell to use these biofuels instead of ordinary petroleum products. Question number 18, do you agree that microbes can be used as source of energy? If so, how? It is in page number 142. So, the answer is microbes are not the direct source of energy, but are used in the production of biofuels and organic matter under the anaerobic conditions. So, example of microbes where they can produce energy is like biogas, bioalcohol and biodiesel products. So, as such microbes cannot be used as energy, but they can help in making the energy products. That is what we have to write the question. Then 19th question, a person has undergone kidney transplantation and his body immunity system should not reject the transplant. So, what medicine is suggested by the doctor to the patient to take till his body accept the transplant? So, it is in the page number 142. So, it is just a twisted question here. So, the answer is there in page number 142. The patient is suggested with cyclosporin A drug, which is an immunosuppressant. That means it will suppress the immunity to not to attack the transplant which is being done, and then the patient can so that the body can accept the transplant and it is not rejected. So, it is cyclosporin A drug and it is produced by a fungus called as Trichoderma polysporum. So, this is the answer. The sentence is there in the textbook, but that can be twisted and asked like this. So, this is the way how they can ask you the question in the examination. So, let us go to the 5 marks questions. Now, the first question, write a note on penicillium. So, it is in page number 140. So, it is Alexander Fleming who first observed as a green mold growing in one of his unwashed culture plates around which Staphylococci bacteria could not grow, and he found out that it was due to the chemical produced by the mold and he named it as penicillin. So, penicillin is produced by a fungi called Penicillium notatum and also Penicillium chrysogenum. So, we have two types of fungal Penicillium species which can produce penicillin. So, this is the point, and then next 2-3 points we have to write is it is a bactericidal, that means it kills the bacteria. The antibiotics that kill the bacteria are called as bactericidal, and in action and it inhibits the synthesis of the bacterial cells. So, how that fungus is killing or the penicillium is killing the bacteria is it will inhibit the synthesis of bacterial cells. So, the bacteria cannot no more divide and produce its progeny. So, that is the thing. The next point is penicillin is also referred as the queen of drugs as it is treated for the wounded soldiers in the World War II, and Fleming, Chain and Florey were awarded the Nobel Prize in 1945 for the discovery of penicillin. So, these are the 6 points you have, you can write any 5 points. So, let us go again recall the first question, write a note on penicillium, it is in question page number 140. So, first you have to write the person who has found this mold, that is Alexander Fleming, and which was killing the Staphylococcus bacteria, and then it produced a chemical called as penicillin, and then that penicillin is produced by two types of fungi, that is Penicillium notatum and Penicillium chrysogenum, and then it is a bactericidal because it kills the bacteria. Now, how does it kill the bacteria? It will infect, it will stop the synthesis of the bacterial cell wall, and then it is also referred to as the queen of drugs. And then it was Fleming, Chain and Florey, these are the 3 persons who were awarded for this penicillin discovery. So, these are the points you have to write for the 5 marks question. And second question, explain the structure of biogas or gobar gas plant in brief and with schematic diagram. So, nothing but you have to just explain what are the parts and what it has, and you have to draw the diagram since it is a 5 marks question. So, the biogas is a mixture of methane, carbon dioxide, hydrogen and hydrogen sulfide, and the major constant of biogas is methane. So, biogas is produced by the anaerobic degradation of animal waste like cow dung or plant waste in the presence of water. So, if you take the structure of biogas or gobar gas plant, so biogas plant is a dome like structure made up of bricks and cement or steel, and it consists of the following 5 components, that is mixing tank. So, it is present above the ground level, an inlet chamber or tank. The mixing tank opens the underground into a sloping inlet chamber, and digester. The inlet chamber opens from the below into the digester, and digester is a huge tank with a dome like ceiling, and the ceiling of the digester has an outlet with a valve for the supply of the biogas. And the next one is outlet chamber or tank. The digester opens from below into an outlet chamber, and overflow tank we have the outlet chamber opens from the top into the small overflow tank. So, this is the diagram already we have seen in 3 marks. So, they may sometimes ask you to explain how the biogas is prepared. So, that is the reason we have to know what is happening in the parts of the chambers, or how the inflow of the cow dung happens and outflow of the cow dung happens, and how the gas goes out of the chamber. So, that we have to write in a description. So, it is our own question, the teachers will explain this one and you can write it. The next one is list the advantages of biogas plant in rural areas. So, 143 page number. So, if you take the advantages of biogas plant in rural areas, why it is actually famous in rural areas, not in the urban areas, is because the raw materials availability is more, that is you have more number of cows and you will be getting cow dung everything in the rural areas only, and it is eco friendly and reduces landfills and renewable sources of the energy and requires low capital investment and improves health and environment of the rural areas and people. So, let us see in detail. So, the raw materials availability. So, raw materials availability such as agricultural waste, manure, plant materials, sewage, food waste, etc. is easily available in the rural areas. Then second one is it is eco friendly because biogas is devoid of smell, that is it does not have smell when it burns. So, it gives a blue flame and without smoke, and hence no harmful gases such as carbon dioxide, carbon monoxide, nitric acid or sulfur dioxide are evolved in this. So, that is why it is an eco friendly gas. The next one is renewable source of energy. So, it is considered as renewable source because the production is dependent on the regeneration of the waste, which is endless process. So, if you take petroleum or some other coal, they are not renewable. So, once they are utilized, you cannot get them back, but cow dung and everything is a daily process where we will be getting the raw material. So, it is very useful for the production of biogas. Then next one is reduces landfills. That means the slurry produced from the production of biogas is used as manure in the fields, and the method of disposal is safe and efficient, and hence no space is wasted in the form of landfills. So, that is why we cannot we need not dump the cow dung and waste everything in the roadside. So, that can be utilized in the production of biogas. The next point requires low capital investment, as the raw materials are used to construct the biogas plant, and the other raw materials are not purchased and they are available of free of cost. Okay, it improves health and environment of rural areas and people. So, waste collection and management significantly improves the areas with biogas plants. So, more people get involved in waste collection in order to get a source of income. So, this leads to overall sanitation and hygiene of the areas. Next question. So, it also produces the enriched and organic manure. So, the process of biogas generation leaves behind enriched organic manure, that is the digestate, and which is a perfect supplement or replacement of chemical fertilizers. So, this is a pure very enriched with organic manure. You need not use any chemical fertilizers if you use this biogas extract. Then fourth question, tabulate the microbes used for the production of organic acid and enzymes. So, it is in page number 142. So, the organic acid producers are, so we can write it as in a tabular column, the organism and the product produced. So, Aspergillus niger, it produces citric acid, Acetobacter aceti, it produces acetic acid, and Rhizopus oryzae, it produces fumaric acid, and Clostridium butyricum, it produces butyric acid, and Lactobacillus lacti, it produces lactic acid. So, these are the organic acid producers. And then we have commercial production of some of the enzymes, that is the organism is Saccharomyces cerevisiae. It produces the enzymes like lipases, pectinases, proteases and cellulases, and it has Streptococci, it produces streptokinase enzyme, and Aspergillus oryzae, it produces rennet. So, these are some of the commercially produced enzymes. Then fifth question, what makes the fungus a potential candidate for bioremediation? Projects involving large quantities of plastics. It is in page number 144. So, the fungi which has the potential for bioremediation are Phanerochaete chrysosporium, and anaerobic fungus exhibits strong potential for bioremediation of pesticides and polyaromatic hydrocarbons, dyes, trinitrotoluene, cyanides, carbon tetrachloride, etc. And the second one is Dalhococcites species are responsible for anaerobic bioremediation of toxic trichloroethene to non-toxic ethene. Then Pestalotopis microspora is a species of endophytic fungus capable of breaking down the digesting polyurethane. So, that is it children. I hope you all the questions are covered in this lesson, are very easy to learn. So, please learn these questions and you can easily score marks from this lesson. So, it is very easy to study these questions. So, the microbial cell fuel, it is very important. So, please learn to draw the diagram and then you can score good marks from this lesson. Thank you.